Most UGC creators share their story all wrong. Here's how I would share my product experience to guarantee that you bought it. My name is Sydney. I've written over 2,500 UGC scripts for brands like Petco, Pack, Blue Apron, Meta. So yes, I know what I'm talking about. You have to stop telling stories like you are writing an autobiography and start telling stories like a marketer. And here's the difference, because most of y'all are butchering this. When you tell a story about your product experience like an autobiography, it's all about you. We're talking about your feelings, your experiences, all about you. And sometimes we go way too into detail that's like just not relevant. And quite frankly, our viewers are very selfish. So they're kind of sitting there like, why should I give a shit about this? Which is why some of your UGC is tanking, because it's a therapeutic monologue, not an actual connection to the viewer. A marketer understands that every single sentence in a story has a job. And the job is very simple. Move the viewer closer to the lesson, the emotion, or the action that you want them to take. You are not sharing to be understood. You're sharing to create a reaction. You want the viewer to have a breakthrough. So yes, you want to connect with them with your experience and have the viewer say, oh my gosh, this girl understands me. But the story isn't about you. It's about how your audience sees themselves in you. So here's how you tell a story like a marketer. First, you need to think about the thought that's in their head. This is not your experience. This is the actual pain point that they're experiencing or the thought that they're having. This is what they are already struggling with. So let's say I'm creating a UGC video for some cooling sheets, and I already know that the thought in their head is that they sleep really hot. They don't sleep well. They're tossing and turning all night. These are the thoughts and the problems that they already have. Step 2 only include the details that serve the actual transformation. So while all of those things are true, they might also have kids that wake them up at night, or they might also have a partner that doesn't like scratchy sheets. But we're just going to include the details that serve them for the transformation of this product. And we're focusing on one pain point. They sleep hot. They're tired. They wake up tired. They wake up sweaty. They don't like it, and they aren't sleeping well. So an example of this done well could be, I was tossing and turning every single night because I was sleeping so hot. I would wake up drenched in sweat. I never had a good night's sleep, and I was just so exhausted going through the day. This is a story that a viewer can relate to. Now, something that's going a little bit too much about me would be something like, last night I was tossing and turning until literally 2 a.m. I could not stop tossing and turning, and my wife woke me up and was like, girl, why are you still awake? And I was like, oh my gosh, because I'm so hot and sweaty. And then my dog jumped on the bed and got me even sweatier. Like, I can't even believe it. And I used to sleep really well, so I don't really know what's going on here. The only thing that I could figure out is that maybe it was my sheets. One is connecting to the audience in a language that is relevant to them and that they understand. The other one is going way too much into your own personal details. You see the difference? One centers you and one centers them, even though you're sharing your experience in both. The moment you start telling your stories from the lens of what the viewer needs, not what you need, that's when you start creating really good UGC. You're welcome.